Navigate out first. Oh no, got the wrong overlay. Give me a sec. Yeah, to switch like a setting towards the apps, because of
No.
It looks insane. Like, fully photorealistic. I'll send you a video.
Probably don't need to stream practice, just post the results.
Yeah, but it's like unnecessary for the Grand Prix, so we'll just leave it up and then people can join over time. I'm sending it to you now. So watch this video, it just looks so good. Because every game is just like stupidly oversaturated.
Oh, the reshape does look good. What's the encore? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's just some color grading feature, you really don't need that much, but it looks so good. Slightly damp Imola here.
Alonso had really good pace there.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the race stuff now.
Always like a bit of a quality merchant though.
Yeah, no, but I was thinking in this race he had really good pace, but do you think it wins?
No. I don't remember him like getting stuck in.
No, he had a bad start.
just had it on
Nice.
the 2012 wait screen.
Nice, nice.
They properly pit and stuff though. It's quite cool.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential.
I need to make highlights for Brazil. Did you see the Australia highlights? Like we actually, Brazil was really good though. You had a proper. Australia was a bit fugazi. 'Cause you
Australia
just
was
had,
chaos, wasn't it?
yeah, you just had like one car doing like 5 stops.
Why was it so chaotic?
I don't know. Someone just spun off the start as well. I think the AI just like stomped on the throttle, just did like a Grosjean Spain, just spun like across the track.
Nice.
There's no smoke screen because it's a game, but you know. What the Jordan and the Ferrari racing for in practice. He's trying to go down the inside of Aqua Minerale, and he spun.
Are they more likely to spin when it's wet?
Pun?
Are they more likely to spin when it's wet?
Yeah. They get like snaps, but I think that was just trying to send it at Aqua Minerale. Just wasn't gonna happen. I think he might be retiring from practice.
I thought the TV was so flat.
Retiring from practice in this game is like really bad though, because they might not be able to get any running to see the fuel wear. Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
Is how it works.
yeah. The AI need like a couple of laps to measure the fuel burn, and then they know how much to refuel.
Right.
The new 2000 helmet cam.
Is it new for 2000?
Yeah, new for 2000. Perfect quality. We stuck a GoPro on their faces. The Ferraris are looking serious for the first time in the sim though. At the moment in the championship, they're running. What is it? They're doing like regular Ferrari things, like 2022 Ferrari things. Running P20, P20 and P14 in the championship with 0 points.
Nice. Esa Ferrari.
They actually take like. Oh, okay.
And I'm back.
Hello, hello.
What a
We've got Joe on provisional pole by 1 millisecond
Oh,
from the Benetton of Leclerc.
the new rain mask. Who's the flyer?
The Benetton here. P2.
Yeah, whose Twitter account is it?
Oh, Leclerc Sherry.
Right. Okay.
Championship leader at the moment. After 2 podiums but no wins.
What team are they, Jordan?
Benetton.
Benetton.
Oh, that's a good camera angle.
It's a great camera angle.
Probably hoping to steal pole ahead of the race. Imola's famously hard to pass.
Look at the spray behind the car.
Through Aqua Minerale. Riding the
Very
curbs well.
impressive.
800s up. Down to Ravazza.
Line looks good. Stable under braking. Takes a lot of curb. Doesn't seem to unsettle the car. This is the difficult understeering. Watch out for the gravel on the exit there. Got through there nice and cleanly.
Oh, they box.
They were 1 millisecond down.
Just
Anyone else out on track? Is anyone
Yeah.
improving?
We'll find out when they pass the time gates. Odiemi goes P6 for a decent lap.
Yeah, respectable. And a Jaguar, very respectable, certainly.
Through Aqua, pretty good. It's very wet at that part of the track.
Yeah, well, that's the base of the hill. That's where the rain seems to pool. Got to be really careful about the aquaplaning, which is when the tyres can't clear enough water, and the car simply slides across the road. Can't find the grip, but looks like they're surviving out there for now. It depends if this rain gets heavier. See that all over these curbs. You've got to be really careful of that in the wet, especially a track like Imola. Very punishing on the curbs. Slams on the power. Seems to get a nice drive out of there. Take the shortest possible line to the track.
Down to the line.
Goes to the line.
No, it didn't improve. Stays P10.
Not a good lap. Abigail.
Right on board this head speed.
Or absolutely clouting the curbs. They're really aggressive with the throttle placement. Quite nicely done. Down to this lovely run into very anti-outer. Nice high curbs. You want to take as much as you can possibly get away with. Don't want to go out on that runoff on the right. There's absolutely no grip whatsoever there. Again, with these flat-out kinks, you want to take the shortest possible line, minimize the distance. A straight line braking, turn it in, take the apex, welly on the power. The second one, you want to take it as one corner rather than two. Gives you the best line on the exit, and they're coming into the pits. Could have been a good lap.
We see Merck going across the line.
This looks like an alright lap.
24 flat.
It is an alright lap.
Puts him
Moving
into
up to
P5.
P5.
See anyone crossing the line? We have a bunch of cars navigating Ravazza at the moment. Magnussen fan. Cross the line. It's not been a good lap for him. Lots of people coming into the pits now. O'Shelex.
The track improving. Might be getting too wet. Oh, no, that track is still improving. They're still finding grip out there. So you want to be on track straight away. Now is when you want to be on track.
Okay, Joe on pole ahead of our championship leader, Leclerc. Should be a good race.
Should have waited a bit before the race anyway. 5 lights ahead of us.
Lights out.
Lights out, and away we go. We can't quite see. Joe doesn't get a good start at all. He's already dropped down.
No, I think he's kept ahead.
It's really hard to see there. No, he hasn't.
Gets the
He's lost
jump.
the lead. Oh, he's going to try and hang it around the outside. Really risky. He can easily be pushed off, but he finds the grip on the rub-it-in racing line. Into the lead. Well, retakes the lead. Goes Joe, but not for long.
Leclerc's compromised. Odiemi, a daring movement to Villeneuve.
Trying round the outside, and they've not been left space, and they've gone round. Oh, drama here in the opening lap in Imola. There's carnage here, all in the gravel. That's going to have to be a safety car, one would assume. And
Lowndes, Odiemi, and Epsilon out. The culprit, though, Odiemi continues. After spinning across the track.
It would be very interesting to see if Anya's investigated for that, I believe, with the other car involved in that collision.
Oh, another pile up here.
More chaos.
Williams and Benetton tangling, Sap panning and O'Shelex. Both look quite strong. They are quite high up, Felix especially.
Dramatic lap here. The first lap
Yeah.
of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix.
The rain bringing a lot of chaos. Lots of people just spinning across the
Yeah,
track.
lots of retirements going on.
It's a big
But
train
the
here.
end result of it is Fossil leads by an outstanding 2.2 seconds on the opening lap.
Yeah,
Due
the
to the
chaos behind really
carnage behind him.
letting him get away.
Now the question is, we'll have to keep an eye on that gap and see if Andy Leclerc can close in on Joe Fossil. But it's gonna be a struggle.
Perez getting a brilliant slipstream on speed. Can he go
Around to the
around the
outside. He's
outside?
on the rubbered in line. There's lots more grip on the outside than the inside at Tamburello. He takes the apex. That was very brave.
That
See,
was.
just utter faith that your opponent isn't going to mess his braking up. If he brakes that fraction too late and locks the brakes, you're both out of the race. So good trust there between the drivers here.
The big train here behind Daruvula. Merck's looking at speed as well.
Going very wide there. He's going to be in trouble, I think.
Yeah, got compromised. Now Armstrong's having a go at him.
Yeah, not going to make it happen. Sensible to back out there. That's not an overtaking opportunity in this tight, twisty Imola circuit.
Yeah,
Through Aqua Minerale, a fantastic sequence of corners here. Very high speed. It's all about stability under braking and getting it straight line. Having that traction and that just the confidence. Imola, this track is all about confidence. It's about how much the driver is willing to push and how many risks they're willing to take.
Oh, Merck gets a bad exit out of Variante Outer. Won't help us run down to Rabatza and then the following.
Yeah, Rabatza is possible to overtake in, but it's a bit sketchy. You'd want to just set up the exit, welly on the power as quickly as possible, and get that big old slipstream down the main straight, which is really powerful at this circuit, as we're about to witness, I fear. There he goes. Using that slipstream, pulls out to the left-hand side. Now, he's got to be careful here, but he's actually got fully ahead, so he'll be all right.
Speed might be over.
The inside is not grippy in that run into Tamburello chicane.
Armstrong taking a look around the outside.
That's great, and he goes for that! Ooh, that was very close to contact there.
Allows Abigail now to take a
around
look.
the outside. This is not going to end well, I fear.
Abigail stays tight.
Oh.
Yeah, Armstrong just got a bit too greedy. It was smart from the Ferrari, just stay behind, take a neater line and get a better exit, and it works out. They get past.
Yeah, that gap at the front looks pretty similar. If anything, Joe's pulling away, so he seems to have this one under lockdown, but there's plenty of action going on behind.
He might have spun down at the back.
Oh, he's just having a bit of a unfortunate weekend.
Yeah, just not being able to control the power. Just spun twice now.
Well, yeah, the first spin was kind of understandable in a wheel-to-wheel situation, but the second one, well, that's less appropriate.
The rear end sliding out of Variante Alta.
These drivers are really pushing in these conditions, absolutely treacherous conditions. So, like, you probably can see the TV cameras and you're thinking, well, it doesn't look that wet, you know, it's like, okay, seems fine. You've got to remember, these drivers are trying to control everything. They'll be making adjustments to brake bias, the differential, all while trying to defend like this, and trying to look at the power of the slipstream down the main straight. That is incredible speed.
Before the corner even arrives, just powers past.
Already overtaken. Wow.
And Abigail puts more time on him through.
Oh, very slidey. The rear is dancing all over the place through there. He's going to go try down the inside. It's not going to go well.
Contact.
Armstrong is out of the race, and that's a disaster for the Jordan team. That is exactly what you can't afford to happen. It was a risky overtake. It was never going to be on, and that's the result.
Yeah, just really clumsy. There was cars with
I think he needs to take a long look at himself in the mirror after making that overtake.
Yeah, that was
and I'm sure the team will have words with that, and maybe the FIA. We could see a potential grid penalty for him later on in the season, but for now, we've got to get back to this battle, and it's the battle for second place.
It's Perez back
really
into
good speed.
Perez was further down the grid after the opening lap, but I think these incidents have managed to bring him back into it.
Yeah, it seems to have good speed. That Ferrari's working well in this kind of damp Imola conditions. Of course, it's not far from their factory in Maranello, is Imola. And you can tell, Ferrari probably have done a little more testing at this track than any of the other teams on this grid.
The Ferraris are running really well. It's a really solid result. P3 and P5 would be for the team after they've gone pointless in the opening rounds.
I agree, but I don't think they'll be satisfied with that. Ferrari haven't been having the best season so far, and
Yeah.
we all know how high the pressure is at Ferrari and how mistakes aren't really tolerated. So if they can afford to get a second place or maybe even a win if they can pass, well then that's that will definitely please the big Ferrari bosses back in Maranello.
Perez pushing hard now though to catch up to Leclerc. We see Fossil way out in the lead and quite a lonely race.
Yeah, he's doing everything right as Fossil. Really impressive performance in that Sauber, which again is just seems to be working at this track. I think it's Swiss-based team have really done a great job this year, that car.
Yeah,
And
especially the Red Bull sponsorship now, that increase in funding really helping them.
yeah, we hear rumours of Red Bull potentially wanting to join the sport full time, but I don't think an energy drink company would be able to do anything in the
Yeah,
sport.
I don't think we'll ever see Red Bull in F1. They really need to just get their foot in the door. I don't think co-owning a team will be it.
Well, it's like you can't possibly expect just a company like that to have good enough management.
Exactly.
But their funding certainly works, and their credit, as long as the check cashes, then I'm sure Peter Sauber will be very happy to have that deal on the table. Right, so you see there,
Daruvula closing up
last
to
lap,
Davide.
probably closest battle on the track. There's a big old train here, led by the Ferrari.
Just too far back. Not even the Imola straight giving them enough overspeed to catch up.
Yeah, all they need is one slight misjudgment, one miss of the apex, one lock of a brake, and that's it. They'll be gone in this kind of train. That's why it's so difficult in these conditions. The driver gets to the corner, they have no idea how much grip there's going to be when they get there, how much throttle they can apply, how quickly they can apply. No wonder they spin all the time. It's all about risk taking, and it's about that natural feel that some drivers have in the car and some drivers don't. That's the really difficult part about driving in the wet, especially around here, a track where, let's be honest, mistakes are punished, and they're punished hard.
With with the spray being kicked up by these cars in these conditions, it's really difficult to spot your braking points. And
You saw on the heli camera there, and you must be thinking, well, it looks alright, I can see fine. Got to remember, these drivers aren't looking down through a few millimeters, they're looking forward through all this rain that's coming down. It's, several meters worth, and that makes it a big difference. You've also got all the spray coming off the cars, off the aerodynamic parts, and they've got to try and pick their braking point, pick their apex. It's really difficult in these conditions. And into the pit for the undercut comes Darivala.
Got a really bad exit out of Ravazza, just deciding to box then. Throws Magnussen fan up into the points. We'll see if he can keep that position by the end of the race. We've seen 8 retirements already in this Imola Grand Prix. They really haven't been keeping their noses clean.
Yeah, I think Perez here has got to try something with strategy. He's not going to be able to pass on the track, but he does seem to have more pace. Obviously, these cars do produce quite a lot of dirty air, is what they call it. It's quite hard to follow, as you have the complex aerodynamics of the car. They unsettle the air behind. So when you've got this new car, you've got a very complicated front wing that's designed specifically to be in clean air coming straight at it. When you have these essentially, turbulent air that's generated off these barge boards and these planar front wings, really upsets these aerodynamic devices, and they're just not designed for that. So it does make it difficult to follow, and that's why you think, well, you got the slipstream, you'll gain it back, but the dirty air, the time loss in the corners due to the downforce being reduced, means that the dirty air does actually have a profound effect.
Yeah, it is really difficult to follow through Sector 2, as we just saw with Danfield. The gap was 3/10 heading into Aqua, but it just cannot follow the car ahead. Cannot follow Max and Fan.
Yeah, it's
Perez boxes.
Strategy will be very key here, right? Perez going for the undercut here. Be interesting to see. It's a good compromise because you have fresh rubber, but you also have much heavier fuel, which means you're usually slower on the outlap.
That's quite a quick stop.
Okay, maybe going for a 2-stop then. We'll have to keep an eye on him.
We're at half race distance, so we'll be expecting a lot more people to pit soon. ODME as well.
Yeah, well, ODME's out for all intents and purposes, I fear. I don't think he's in points contention for this race, unfortunately. After a very good start to this race.
Everyone from Perez down haven't boxed yet. We can see the big gap from Perez, the young boy.
This is working out very nicely for Perez. He's got some lovely clean air to try and set as fast laps as possible and go for the undercut, which is when you pit before, set fast laps, so when the person you're racing pits, then you come out ahead of them. But he's not got great pace at the moment, Perez. Heavy, laden with fuel. And in these conditions, new tyres won't make as much of a difference. So you want to stay out as long as possible, really, which is what the leaders are doing.
Yeah, he's really sliding around.
You
I
can
think Merc
see
is
he's
closing
losing
up.
the gap. He's losing the gap. He doesn't seem to be able to find the grip. They can't fire the tyres up.
Leclerc pits from P2. We'll see where she exits. Can she?
I
Can she
would
stay ahead?
expect here for her to remain ahead of Perez, but let's see how long the stop is.
She
Perez
goes
is a
into
very
the
quick stop.
Benetton pit box. This car's going by the McLaren.
Long stop, long stop. She's away. This is going to be close on the exit with Perez. I think Perez might just do it. Perez has done it.
Yeah, Perez got the
So
undercut done.
the question is Perez going to stop again? That's what we need to find out.
Merc stays ahead. The undercut working really well. Daruvla from nowhere has been promoted all the way up.
To 6th place.
Some really strong points-paying positions. See, Joe Fossil, the leader, is running long. This is very good for him.
Joe Fossil really could just sit back, open his magazine, put his feet up, you know, watch some Looney Tunes. I'm sure he's having a great time out there. Just looks effortless.
Yeah.
Can't remember how many times we've actually seen him this race. He's leading the thing.
Got a scrap now. Odemi big lock-up while chasing Norris.
All over the shop today.
Yeah, it's really treacherous conditions. Let's take a look at how many positions everyone's gained so far. Young boy making his way up from P19, probably helped by all the retirements. See Leclerc, the big loser here, who got really undercut by a lot of cars.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. They seem to have a really long stop. I don't know if there was a problem there. We'll have to let's get our pit lane reporter to look at that. But just sloppy mistakes like that from the Benetton team is what they can't afford when they're fighting for a world championship.
Yeah, this strategy might have been really good for Perez. He might have made his way into P2. Be a brilliant result for the boys in red. Have a go, however.
Oh, Ferrari need a great result this season. They've had the potential, but they just haven't been able to deliver. It seems that just out of strategic errors, pit stop errors, management errors, they just don't seem to have the operational. They're not as streamlined as potentially other teams, such as Jordan this season.
Yeah. Or Jaguar, who also
Interesting
seen
to see
some really
this
good
here.
results.
Daruvala is all over the back of Fan. Be interested to see if he can get the traction. I don't know if Fan's just made an overtake. I don't think he has, no.
We've got Merc as well. He's really close to the Perez, actually.
Merc having an absolutely fantastic race so far in the Jaguar.
Yeah, he's made his way up from starting P5.
Daruvala is, yeah, all over the back of Fan.
Oh,
it's going to be an interesting thing. He
Joe
has to
boxes
try and...
from the lead.
Okay. Let's watch this pit stop.
He's already out.
It's already... Damn, it's a very fast pit stop.
It's a brilliant stop from Sauber.
Davido's in as well. Let's see where Checo can emerge.
Yeah, he's going to jump Davido.
He's got great speed down the main straight.
There's Perez. Can he get past?
Oh, he's going to have a look down into Tamburello.
And
no,
Merc
he backs
gets past. Oh, that was
crucial
so close.
mistake for Perez. Oh, he almost touched. Getting a bit close for comfort there. And Daruvala's through on Fan.
It's very opportunity
Fantastic
from Merc.
move.
We saw Perez getting really caught up trying to pass the Williams Davido.
Now Perez is facing an uphill battle. He's have more worn tyres than the other people.
Oh, Leclerc's retired.
What happened to Leclerc? And Leclerc is out of the race.
That might be mechanical issues. I think they just parked up. I didn't see any damage. I think that might have just been a retirement. Not what Benetton needs in the lead.
We were talking about Benetton operationally, and this is yet another error from
Lerek as well. Did they tangle?
We're gonna
No,
have to see if we can get a replay on that, but that is disastrous.
I think we can see some replays after the race, but that'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, after the race, I'm sure we'll get it up on the SkyPad, but wow. And for Perez, even with 2 retirements in front of him, he's down to 4th. He's having a horrible afternoon after what looked like such a positive day.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's having a worse afternoon than Lita, who's retired now. I think in three out of 3 races. It's just not been good.
Yeah, reliability and mistakes can cost you masses in a championship fight, and you simply can't afford to have them, to have these mistakes, to have reliability problems. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Our 2 championship protagonists are out though. Charles Lerich and Anya Leclerc running 1 and 2 in the championship, both out of the race.
This will be brilliant news to everybody else in this fight, but
Right
certainly
now,
not what the 2 championship contenders had in mind.
Joe Fossil, who's on track for a Grand Slam. I'm not sure who has a faster lap at the moment. We'll find out at the end of the race. Down, he's just not had a good couple of races. He had retired and then was P14 in Interlagos, but now he's just really coming to his own in these conditions.
Certainly has. Looks like a stable end to the race now from here on out.
As things stand, Davido would take the lead of the championship.
Well, again, championships aren't won on pace; they're won on consistency. This has always been the case in this sport, and well, it looks like it's being proved once again that it's better to be a consistent driver than a fast driver. But
Yeah,
if a fast driver can nail their consistency, that's when you start getting really impressive results.
actually, that's my bad. The way up into P4 in the championship, ahead of Tam Norris, our race winner last time out. Tam Norris is pushing hard to catch up to Danfield. Got a bit of a train. Danfield having dropped off. Team orders at the end of the race, but they're not scrapping for points, so unlikely.
Yeah, if they can keep within half a second, they've got a great chance at an overtake into Tamburello. But like I said, these 2 final corners are really difficult. Just
Everyone
got to
keeps
get
it
the
tidy.
nose in and just. Oh. 6th tenth, I'm not quite sure that's close enough, but we'll see with the slipstream
ODM
down
was
the
very
main straight.
strong out of Ravazza. He's getting a good slipstream, but obviously Norris has the car ahead to pull her along. Takes a look on the outside of Tamburello, but just was too far back.
Yeah, if Norris can keep close this lap, which is by no means guaranteed, then they'll have a good chance at Tamburello in lap 15, the final lap of the race. But for now, it's just about keeping it clean and not making any errors. Can't afford to make errors. And for Odiemi, what could have been, seemed to have fantastic pace throughout this race, but just that accident on the opening lap really
Yeah.
scuppered all their chances of a strong points finish today.
Our biggest gainers here, as you can see, everyone's done their stop at the moment, but Young Boy up from P19 on the grid up into the points. Magnussen fan as well from P16. Davido up into the P2 all the way from P11. It's been a very good race for him. And Magnussen Cube as well, making up 12 places to get into the points. It would be his 3rd point of the season as it stands. Oh, we have Cube Boxing.
What on earth? Potentially ran out of fuel to splash and dash.
Yeah, just couldn't make the fuel last.
Oh, that's disastrous. But for Danfield, that's fantastic news.
Yeah,
Norris would be interested as well. They now have a chance at a World Championship point.
Yeah, this is crucial for Norris, who's in P4 at the moment in the championship. Might be looking.
Might be able to snag an extra point.
Yeah.
But it's the final lap. The only real chance Norris will get here is into Ravazza, and I can only see that happening if Field makes a mistake. But they've got to push as hard as possible. The slipstream
They are
seems to
really
be really
pushing,
powerful.
just attacking every single curve.
They have to. Like, round a circuit like this, you can get so much time from just simply getting it. It's caution to the wind now. You've just got to focus on you and the car in front of you. That's the only thing you've got to do. You've got to push and you've got to gain as much time as possible. Like I said, as soon as you get in with that half-second range, the slipstream will be really powerful, especially on the straight down into
Yeah, this race has been about one man. It's been Joe Fossil who put it on pole and just led every single lap.
If you had to look up domination and a victory, it would be this race. Joe Fossil wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix with a fantastic performance from Sauber. Davido was really strong P2. And Merck with a fantastic podium. All three drivers on the podium have done a fantastic job today in these difficult conditions.
Yeah, just brilliant strategy and really strong pace.
Disappointing performance from Ferrari once more.
Yeah, at least Abigail managing to keep in the points. It's been really disappointing for Lerek and Leclerc, who had the potential for a really good point to take the lead or extend their leads, but it just couldn't. Nothing happened.
It's a shame. So much missed out on. Daruvala seemed to have an issue as well. I'm not sure what happened there, but he was running strongly in the points, and to finish 11th must be pretty heartbreaking. I think they may have ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
But certainly dramatic race here in Imola, and I'm looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, I think we head to... Where do we head to? I think we head to Silverstone next. Fan favorite track. Yeah, next up is the British Grand Prix. This could be a really good race, one to watch.
Silverstone usually delivers. I don't think next race is going to be any different.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for joining our coverage of F2K, and we look forward to seeing you.
Do you want to do Silverstone now?
I don't know. Like I said, I think it's better if we run practice quality and then we post the break. And then you wait like 5 to 10 minutes. The race will be at a set time.
We do have 6 minutes.
Yeah, but they'll come back.
I'll send the practice. Oh, there we go.
I think it's better to sim practice and quali now.
Yeah. I think these two race weekends are quite good. I'll make the highlights of the Brazilian Grand Prix soon as well for people to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, free practice 1 at the moment. We're riding on board with our safety car. Magnussen fan. It's a sunny day here at Silverstone. Huge contrast from last weekend at Imola where we had pretty horrible conditions, to be honest.
Yeah, nice to have a session back in the dry again. The drivers can just push, and we like to see drivers at the top of their game. And dry conditions on Silverstone, well, that's certainly a good way of seeing that.
Here with these off-board cams, we watch the Minardi sweep into the field.
Historic circuit this, made out of an old airfield, as with a lot of British circuits. It's gone through a few iterations over its time, but it's never lost its heart and soul, and especially the British crowd here. Every year they come out in masses, and it's great to see, really.
Yeah, it's also a brilliant sight to see a Formula 1 car just go through Magden Beckett. It's quite majestic.
Yeah. 8 minutes left of practice, obviously. It's not very long time they get in the cars here before they have to go into qualifying, but it's just to get a feel for how the fuel's looking, how the tires are handling these high speed corners, and just get a feel for the car. Make sure they're confident going into qualifying. When you've got to extract absolutely everything out of the cars, you can't afford to just take it easy in practice. You've got to know where that limit is, and the best time for that is practice. We'll lock up there, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can afford to make those small errors in practice as long as you don't make them in qualifying in the race.
Yeah, this session is just purely about finding the limits of the car and the track.
And for us viewers, it provides a great insight into which teams are looking quick, which teams are looking slow, who's looking at the top of their game, and who needs to do some work.
We get to see some of the, maybe some preliminary racing. Everyone's on track at the moment, just trying to get in as much running as possible ahead of qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. Very key.
Obviously Silverstone with these really nice long straights heading into fast corners should be really good for racing with these cars especially.
Certainly will. I think we'll see a lot of action this weekend. I think there'll be a lot of excitement. I mean, you can feel the atmosphere. Everyone's excited to see racing again, and excited to see what everyone can offer.
I think we're seeing Fan getting held up by McLaren. We'll find out who that is shortly. It's Field holding up the Jordan on his outlap. Sorry, the Minardi. Just yeah, Magnussen Fan will be really frustrated.
All over the place. Look at that, he's on the grass.
We're really frustrated about getting held up by Danfield on the outlap.
Just a very messy lap here.
Yeah,
right, this would be a good example to see how powerful the slipstream effect is around this British circuit.
Probably just getting very flustered by the McLaren holding him up. He won't be happy with that.
Well, of course he won't, but you know, these kind of things happen.
Yeah. At least it's just practice, not quali.
Yeah, I think you may get a slap on the wrist from the AFA from that, but I think he'll get away with it. I don't think there'll be anything he has to carry through qualifying for the race.
On board onto the hangar straight. Up to the gears,
lovely
really...
camera angle this. You can see as they approach the absolutely high-speed corner. Let's watch the speed. Oh, he did downshift a couple times there.
Probably practice though. Just wanna keep it safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Really pushing though through Mag. It's staying in 6th gear. Out through Chapel, going all the way, using all of the track. Now down into Stowe corner. Downshift and turning in. It's really easy to lock up here. He's not pitting, he's going to finish the lap. We'll see where that puts him. Takes a lovely apex. But it's not been a good lap. Down at P18. Not what he would have wanted. Seeing really good pace though from P2 in the championship. Larek. I think he might be a championship protagonist.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly has a good chance, especially after drama in Imola. Really upset the championship table.
Yeah, he didn't have a good race in Brazil or Imola. Probably not. The wet conditions not working for him. He managed a very actually. P7 was pretty respectable in Interlagos, but championship rival Leclerc just all the way up in P3. We'll see. He's been very strong in the dry though. The last dry race we had, Australia, he managed to get Grand Slam, just put it on pole and drove away from the rest. See, he'll be hoping to replicate that. And it's been a strong start to the weekend. Merck as well. An outside chance. He got points in the last race, just been very consistent. Might be the only driver. I think he has been the only driver this season to finish every race in the points so far.
Yeah.
So the consistency you need might be an outside shout for the title. Everyone's just peeling into the pits now as practice starts.
Very interesting to see how this season develops, but I wouldn't rule anything out at this point.
Yeah, all the drivers now coming into the pits, probably finishing their stints. We'll see if anyone goes back out to get some final laps in, putting in some more fuel and new tyres. But yeah, everyone boxes. We have someone leaving the pits now. It's Pecco Frio. Did not have a good race last weekend in Imola, but he'll be hoping for some redemption. He'll be looking for his first points though after a string of disappointing finishes, a retirement and then a P17 finish. It's not been what he's wanted.
Not him or anybody else has wanted, but you know that happens in sport sometimes, and I'm sure he'll recover from it.
Yeah. 1.2 seconds down on his previous time. We'll be watching his teammates at him speed, who's been a lot stronger to be honest. The first race out in Australia in the Jordan, getting tantalizingly close to the points, P9. We'll be hoping to try and find some of his teammates' success.
Sure, certainly will.
Riding on board now, 7th gear into Stowe. Yeah, taking in 3rd gear, he's being really cautious now, and into the pit lane. I love this camera angle for Mags and Beckett's, especially in the race when you just watch the cars taking their different lines through the sequence of corners.
Yeah, it's a lovely high-speed circuit. High-speed corners are always great to watch as a spectator, and yeah, Silverstone is the home of high-speed corners, really.
Yeah, practice is nearly over, so we're going to head into quali soon. We're all just peeling into the pits as the session ends. Obviously practice, you have a lot more room to make mistakes than quali now, so hopefully they've all got it out of their system. Should be a nice clean quali. That's what Leclerc will be hoping for, and Leclerc. It's a bit more, who's a bit further down the order. See, in the previous races they've been near the top since the beginning, fighting for P2, P3, but this has been uncharacteristic so far.
Yes, I agree. It's unusual, but you know, each circuit has different characteristics and suits different driving styles.
Her teammate, however, sat padding, getting out really early. See how their bank lap goes. This might be bad though, because as everyone exits the pits, they might be on a hot lap. You can see the brakes just glowing red hot as they head into these really hard braking zones, just putting a lot of heat and stress through the brakes.
Put an enormous amount of G-force under braking these cars. Really fantastic modern technology.
Yeah,
And
just unbelievable.
being able to see these pictures in such high quality as we are is just a privilege, really.
Yeah, we've moved on from the 4x3 of previous years, and we've got some new graphics. We also saw the experimental helmet cam being shown a few times. Only only on a couple of drivers though. That's still very
Yes, exactly. It may need a little bit more work, but for now, it's a welcome addition
yeah.
to our already massive roster of camera angles.
You can see though just how much information they have on the steering wheel.
Yeah, very high-tech steering wheels now. It won't be long until we see a full-on screen there. I wouldn't be surprised. A little TV inside there, but for now, of course, they've got their LCD displays, displaying all kinds of things: brake bias, differential settings, engine mode, fuel burn mode,
Just so
all
many
sorts of
so many
things.
buttons. These cars are basically computers.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Lafleur the other day, and he said he had to start his car like a computer. So it's really complicated. And I
Really.
said, I don't blame you. It sounds it with all this kind of technology they have to set up and make sure everything was going right. It also means
You
that
should ask the drivers about that.
yes, it's a good idea. You know, that's a short view back to the past, but not very long ago.
Yeah.
These cars are nothing. I think Nicky Lauda said that like he had to you could train a monkey and they'd be able to drive the car. They were super simple to
Put a
drive.
monkey in the cockpit and they'll be able to drive the car.
Yeah, exactly, and shows really how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's an
Now
interesting question whether the drivers want more or less buttons really, and how much communication they want with their engineers. But
yeah, and the pit wall. No, you should ask them that in one of the press conferences later.
yeah, it sounds a good idea.
No laps on the board yet. We're still following stat padding. He was the first out on track. It's been a very clean lap though. They've got some really nice clean air. Just put in their laps, no disturbed air, allowing all the air on the car to just work its magic. Keep it glued to the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Now into Club and Vale. On the throttle, accelerating up the gears to the line. First lap of the weekend, it's 1:41. I think that's a lot slower than the times we were seeing in quali. Might have been a mistake on that lap. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Armstrong goes to the 1:38.6. I did notice a small lockup, but it didn't look like he lost too much time from it.
You see Larrick? One of our
That's
championship.
not a great lap either from Charles.
Yeah. It's not been what we've come to expect of him.
Norris as well. That Armstrong lap is holding up very nicely. Anfield, that's a very respectable lap for Anfield.
The track might be a lot greener now though than it was in practice, I think. Temps might be a bit lower than they were.
Yes, exactly. There's all sorts of explanations.
The rubber's not gripping up as much, which might explain why we're just seeing slower times than we saw in practice. Despite these cars, the engineers turning cars up. But we see DeVito putting his car on a provisional pole. The Williams looking strong. We're looking to see where Leclerc will end up. Chow's championship rival. After the last race, they'll be seeking some really important points. Lowndes as well are other championship protagonists. Currently P3 in the championship, tied on points with Chow. He's quite far down the order.
Yeah, so there's a lot of differences in performance.
Start padding the Benetton. Young boy goes up into provisional pole. It's a really good lap from him. Watching Chow Larrick start another lap, I'm right on board with him for this lap. Taking Village in first gear, quite interesting tactic.
For sure. Having to really jump down the gears.
These cars
you
have
really don't want to be having to drop down an extra gear if you don't want to, and
yeah.
Fear this may be a case.
They have really tall first gear, these cars.
Yes, true.
It's probably helpful with the longer gearing, the more set up for Silverstone with its very high speed nature. You want the drive at the top end.
Yeah, exactly.
Reaching almost 300 kilometers an hour down into cobs.
See the car roll as it goes through that high-speed corner. Even cars as stiff as this. It's interesting to see.
Yeah, you can really see it leaning on two of the suspension, the weight shifting through every single corner. Chow not improving. Second down in his time. At the moment we're seeing a lot of times the 140s. Young boy's time in the 138s. Looking quite untouchable, to be honest. A lot of the drivers have to find 2 seconds to catch up. Chow is so far down in his time, just abandons the lap. We might see some cars refuel and go around for their second lap. Sainz era finish his lap. Be a 141.3, promoting him up into P19. It's not what he would have wanted. Watching Salim speed around the final corners. Can he disrupt any of the top 8 who are currently sitting in their garage? It doesn't look like he can. It's going to be a 148 up into P16. Probably not what he would have wanted.
Respectable lap, but nothing more.
See Lowndes, who'll be hoping for a really good qualifying to try and help his championship charge. As his two rivals, he peels into the pits. Just 7 cars, stat padding. Leclerc's teammate up all the way up in P5. It's not what he won't want to be 13 positions behind his teammate.
Certainly won't. But not looking great, is it? Must be said. Not looking great.
Peels into the pits. Yeah, 2.8 seconds down. Probably the better decision. Save the tyres. Potentially for the race. Deruva. He's currently P21. Just won't be happy with that at all. See where he can put his car. The Prost. Stays P21. It's not what he would have wanted at all. Just a couple cars on track. Managed to time it really well to speed on his in-lap. I think at the moment Abigail's the only one on track trying to set a lap. Will stay on board with Ferrari. Can they get any higher up? Their teammate is currently in the point-paying positions if they finish that place in the race. They'll really want to climb up the order. Oh, okay. I think they all boxed at the end of their lap. So we're on board with Young Boy. He was on pole position. It's a good getaway. One of the P2 has really sunk down. DeVito's up into P2.
Very impressive.
Lowndes down the inside of Village. Now to the loop, sweeps around the outside. But Few manages to stay ahead. We'll see if we can get a good slipstream. Side by side down into Luffield. Goes down the inside. Field now. Outside turns to inside.
Pinch to the apex.
Yes, on the throttle late, but Lowndes had a bad exit. Seeing a lot of retirements. What has happened? I think there might have been an incident further down the grid.
All sorts of chaos.
Takes a look at Maggots. That was really brave. Seeing Joe Foster, our race winner last time out. P11 Pedalita retiring from the race. Seen 4 races, 4 retirements.
Very unfortunate record. I'm gonna have to go, by the way.
Alright, yeah, see ya. Max Q down the inside of Perez. Gets past. Now getting passed by Epsilon. Take a look. Lovely camera angle showing the speed of these cars around the corner. Epsilon staying tight to the apex, but hoping to get a good corner out of the loop to Raintree. See Deruva getting a good run. Head for the second time into Cops, getting a big slipstream. Unfortunately, she's not carrying as much speed as Ferrari through Cops. 2 cents now though to Magnussen and Beckett. If they can tuck in behind. There's a decent straight before Stowe. Might be able to get a move done. Getting a good slipstream, goes to the inside. Down the inside at Stowe. Can Perez fight back? No, Epsilon gets past. I think Cube and Lyric also swap position. Yeah, so far biggest overtaking spot has been Stowe corner. Speaking of which, we see Cube really close on Chapel. Out of Chapel, just closing up to the McLaren of downfield. See the slipstream, he's getting a big slingshot. Looks to the inside and moves past it. The McLaren stays around the outside. Now into the chicane. Cube slightly ahead. Yeah, and Cube makes the move work. Someone really close to the back of the Minardi alert. Getting a slingshot, will it be inside or outside? Goes to the inside. not close enough at the moment. Lorek leaves the room. Just goes off the track. F1 moves past. Cube and Armstrong pitting in now. Trying a move at Aintree, that was really ambitious. We'll get another bite of the cherry down into Luffield. Late braking speed. Outside turns to inside for the next corner. It's on the throttle nice and early. Still side by side. No, never mind. Speed manages to stay ahead. Are really close to Fossil now. But unfortunately for Deruva, Fossil also has a really good slipstream on speed up ahead. And our leader pits from P1 will follow a stop. See, one of the longest pit lanes on the whole calendar here. And one of our championship protagonists too, Jay Lowndes, also pits in. Young boy being quite a slow stop, I think. Exits the pits down in P10. No one ahead has boxed yet. He's currently got a 33-second gap to the leader, DeVito, who's inherited the lead by virtue of not stopping yet. Running on board with him through max and backwards. Epsilon chasing down the Rivulet to Pross, battling. See if we get any team orders between them. They have stopped. I think they've stopped. We'll take a look. Yep, they have stopped. So they could be in for a good position. This undercut works well for them. You see DeVito pitting. And now Lerick will inherit the lead. See if the overcut plays out. Interesting strategy. See if DeVito can exit the pits ahead of Young Boy. We took the lead from earlier in the race. He pitted in early. Magnussen Cube says the fastest lap. DeVito exits well ahead of everyone else. But he's trying to warm up his tyres though. Cube could be in for a chance to take the net lead of the race. Tucks in. Down the straight. We catch him before Luffield? No. Takes a bit of a look, but just way too far back and makes a mistake, gets a snapper oversteer mid-corner. This is really playing into the hands of DeVito. Cube though, once again. got a really good run down the straight. Oh, it takes a look into Beckett's, which is not what you want to do. Stays neat and tidy through Chapel. Now to this long straight before Stowe. Reaching 200 miles an hour. Down the inside. And he gets the move done. It's been a swap of leaders. As the top 4 pit now, the Armstrong inherit the lead. We'll see where Cube exits. All the way in P2. Cube, all the way from the outside. Really unexpected. He could be leading the race. We'll see progress now. Yeah, confirmation. Starting in P13. All the way up. Our Pole City Young Boys down in P5. Not being the race he would have wanted. You see this three-way battle between the Benetton and the Prost. Epsilon really close, but unfortunately the Benetton ahead, also getting slipstream from the Prost. Team might try and tell Daruva to try and get a move on, keep away from the slipstream range of Tapad. Seems to be working though. Maybe move into Cops, too far back. Gap is 2/10 now. If you can keep it neat and tidy through Mags and Beckett, should have a very good chance into Stowe Corner. We see the helicopter cam. Now climbing through the gears. Moves to the inside. Late braking. Zaphead stays around the outside, has to get off the throttle to not go off track. Have some moves past into P10. Armstrong is really stretching the stint. He's made a stop actually. Could have been a very early stop, got a good strong undercut. Armstrong might be in a chance to win the race. We'll head back to intervals to see the gap. Max and Cube with a big lockup, no one do his tyres any favours. See Lowndes trying to fight Lerrick, the two cars with a chance for the championship. Leclerc is out of the race, so these points will be really crucial. Making sure to get as many points on the Benetton as possible, so they're out of the race. Down the inside of the Minardi, he closes the door on him. Armstrong and Cube pitting from the podium. DeVito back into the lead now. It's an interesting two-stop strategy. We'll see if the other runs can manage to make their fuel last. It's a really interesting strategy. Motor Youngboy all the way from P10 back onto the podium. Still not what he wanted from pole, but it's better than nothing. See speed and stat padding very close together on track, and Epsilon and Daruva used to be inseparable the whole race. Now fighting for the last points position. Another battle further up, Lowndes trying to make his way past the Minardi of Lerrick. Now Fossil getting involved in this battle as well. We'll see who will make the most of this. We go down onto the hangar straight. Has to stay behind through cobs. Moves past, through Stowe, and into the pits, right after overtaking. Was there contact? Could there have been any damage? Either way, this is really good for Larek now. His rival's out of the race. Speed trying to move past Starpad for the final points position. Getting a slipstream, but not close enough to make a move into cobs, despite reaching all the way up to 370 kilometers per hour. And we've got some more people in the pit. Young Boy, Fossil, Derusa, and Speed pit from really good positions. They're right now up onto the podium. Promoted Science Era up into the points, and Petrofrio. So really shaking up the race, start padding all the way down from P16 up into P5, Claire from P7, Larek from P7, Danfield from P6, DeVito from P2. Man who beat him to pole. Young Boy is now down all the way in P11 after his late stop. We head on to the last lap of the race. Our leader now making his way through Abbey. Yeah, Epsilon's not very fast, strong in a straight line. Only getting up to 299 km an hour. Despite the slipstream. race leader now going through corps. It's been a very good drive. Started P2, made his way up through strategy. Through parts of the race you wouldn't have expected it, but really conserving the fuel, making sure you're able to do the one stop. However, some people have made the two stop work. Armstrong went early and managed to run low fuel the whole race. But as it stands, it looks like it's going to be DeVito winning the race through Stowe Corner. Now to the final chicane. It's going to be Williams getting their first win of the season. DeVito winning the British Grand Prix. Cube closing right up onto the back of Starpad, but not being able to make it past. McLaren and Minardi with a very good result. Lerick can be a huge result for the championship. Man, you saw some poor young boy just finished in P11, not the race he would have wanted after such a strong quali. It's been a very good British Grand Prix. I'm going to end the broadcast now. Right, thank you for joining.